And guys, what is it? March 18th, 2024. So here, I just picked up this other unit. I've been working on these two of the loaders here. And this one I got all apart, and you can see all the parts. I've been painting it. This has to be repainted and grind down, and it's pretty grungy. So I picked up this other unit here for cheap money yesterday. It's got a good hood on it. I need a hood. This hood here, it came with panels, and you can see this hood's got a big gouge in it, and that's right where the hinges are. So I mean, for me to fix that, the way the paint is on it and shit, I picked up this one yesterday. It's got a good hood on it, and it's an 87, so I need the pump off of this thing anyway. It's got a decent, all the parts are worth money on this thing. It's got a nice faceplate, which I need. It's got a nice choke. Steering wheel's good. This thing's not all rusted out. It does have a motor. It came with a motor, but it's only got compression on one cylinder. So it's in the garage. This is a P series. We've got the electronic spark. And it does have a B pan on it with a starter, which is worth a couple $100 just for that. So it looks like it's got a good unit there. I mean, for the money, it was worth it. It's got a good hood on it, lights. This thing alone was worth money right here, this thing. I wonder if it's got lights in the back. I'm missing. Won't know until I get the thing off. It's probably got a decent tank. All these parts add up, Got a good hood. It's got a good drive shaft. The joints in the drive shaft are good. Let's go in and try playing around with the motor, see if I can get compression on it. Came with a couple of good side panels, some hinges, seat brackets. This one here I'm working on, and you can see I'm doing some painting on the stuff. Took all the stuff apart and painted it. Start putting it back together. Motor runs good on that thing. Got the black over here and spraying this shit down. Let's go inside and work on that motor. Alright, so this motor, it's a P motor, doesn't have the points. It's got the original carburetor. Manifold. Does have the clutch on it. You can see it's got the he put a B pan on there that's got the starter that's mounted on there. He said this is the side that doesn't have the compression on it. I could tell looking at this right away, somebody that's been in here playing around. Doesn't have a condenser on this thing, which I have other condensers. I don't know why there's no condenser. He doesn't have a condenser on this thing. I don't even know if the spark works. Everything's loose. But even if the motor's bad, I mean, for what I got into it, I need, I like to get this carburetor. I wanted this. I wanted the pan for the starter. And then all the other stuff that adds up to it, and we'll see if we can get compression on it, find out what happened to it. Looks like there's oil in there. Yeah, there's oil. Oil's been changed. So let's see if we can find out what's going on with it. Yeah, the plug's loose. We'll hook something up to it, and it's clear here. We'll hook up. I wonder if the piston's coming up and down. Sometimes the rods are a problem. Yeah, it's flipping things all loose. The guy did tell me the motor had no compression, so I knew that when I bought it. Maybe it's a head gasket or valves. We're gonna see. It's a little carbony. Alright guys, so I turned it over and I can see both pistons are moving. I have some jumper cables and a battery here. I'm gonna hook it up, and we'll see if we can get any compression, you know, when we turn it over. I have to get a light where I could see a little better. The thing wants to be, that's open, and you wanna have this open when you turn it over for compression. It might be a valve issue. It might be a stuck valve or something. It's good that both pistons are moving. I was able to turn it over and see inside there. Get a light so we can see what the hell's going on here. We'll hook up this battery. I got some jumper cables here. I should have a thing to... I picked up a couple of different ones. Yeah, right here. I like to check, see if it's got spark too. I like to do that while I got it in here. See if the thing's got spark. I know that all this shit was loose, but I could tighten all this stuff up. And we gotta put power. And it should have a condenser on it, and I don't know why there's no condenser on the thing, but I'm gonna put one in there. So I want to check for compression and then see if we got spark. Then it'll run. Alright, got the good carburetor on it and shit. The pan alone the pan and the start is worth $200. So the flywheel and then that. So alright, so I got this thing here hooked up to the positive, and I got this little jumper going over to the solder solenoid, and I push this button, it turns over. There's compression coming out of there. What's he talking about? Typical. Guys don't know what the hell they're talking about. Maybe it's just low compression. Maybe it needs valves, or maybe it needs rings, or the valves need to be reset. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. He said this is the side we're having a problem with, so let's figure it out. We'll see what we got now. When you do this compression test, you have to have the carburetor open all the way. It should be like 100, 120, 100 or 120, something like that. That's a good compression. Let's see. I got both plugs out. Let's see what we got for compression here. $105, that ain't bad. $105, that's good. Let's try the other side. What are you talking about? Never a dull moment, Mama. No, never a dull moment. I know the pistons are going up and down because I looked in there. Ready? Alright, that one's like a little low. So that might be a valve job. That's 75, that's a little, that's 80. Still not too bad. What you could do is you could squirt some oil in there and see if it changes. When you squirt oil in there and it changes, then you know that it's the rings. If it don't change, it's the valves. Let's get some oil. Alright, I got some oil in this thing. This is motor oil. A lot of it. Put some more in there, I guess. Alright, so I got some motor oil in this thing. A couple of good squirts in there, and try it again. Try it again with the motor oil in there and see if it makes a difference. That's what they call a wet compression. If it goes up, that means that the rings are bad. It's probably the valves, most likely. Ready? Look at that. Went right up. So we probably got bad rings. Wish I have a set of rings. I could throw a set of rings in that if I want. I'm going to check for spark next. Yeah! Let's get a condenser on this thing. Let's see if we get any spark. I'm gonna put a condenser on it. Got a condenser here for it. Got a condenser here for it. And that should go on this little. I don't know why they don't have a condenser on it. I should have one. Probably gonna have to do something with the motor. It's gonna go to the positive. Gotta go to the P on the positive. If it was a B motor, we'd go to the negative. Here's a leaker. Here's a leaker. I mean, so the motor's probably worth rebuilding. Set of points on it, or maybe take the heads off and reset the valves, maybe even. I don't know. Just wondering if I got spark. want to put this to the positive. The P, which is here. Reach. Deal about it. I don't know why they didn't have a capacitor on there. I don't know why. That's gonna. There's two kinds. There's one that's designed for. These wires are probably, who knows if they're even any good. You see how this shit's all loose? Somebody's been in here playing around. Somebody's been in here playing around. Let's see if we got any spark. I think with these you're supposed to have both of them grounded or something at the same time. The P series, which is the newer style, which has electronic spark, the capacitor goes to the positive, P to positive. And the B series, which the coil is different, it's got the same size studs, and the capacitor is different, goes to the negative. I don't know why all this shit's loose. This motor would run like this with this compression, as long as I get spark. That's the next thing we're going to check and see if we're getting spark. I'll have to put positive from the battery to the positive on this, a jumper, and I should get spark. Should be able to see if we're getting spark here. Ground out spark plug. Just curious if I'm getting spark. Just curious. It's got to be grounded. Let's see if we get spark. We'll see. We'll put power to the coil. So the positive on the coil is here. See if I can get power to that down in the battery. Well, it should. Then it should give us we should have spark. Alright, let's see if we got 24 volts coming to this coil. And that's the positive, yeah. 24 volts going there. Should get spark. Volts DC. Let's see. No voltage. We don't have 24 volts there for some reason. Kind of weird. So it's a bad plug. 12 volts. So this is a bad unit. Maybe let me get another wire. Let's try a different jumper. See if we can get voltage there. Try a different jumper. I gotta get voltage to this coil, or it ain't gonna spark. I mean, this thing would run. I just gotta do something with the motor. All right, let's see if we're getting any. Let's see if we're getting voltage there now to the coil. Go to negative. Alright, we're getting 12 volts there now. Alright, so let's see if it works. Let's see if it sparks. Like I said, I got these things in here, so it should. The thing should be grounded. The plug should be grounded, and then we should get spark right there. Yeah! Yep, we got spark. He's a runner. We got spark, Mama. Yeah. Well, it looks pretty clean. We got spark. We got compression. Alright, so I took all the bolts out and I laid them all out the way they came out, and I gotta take this last one out. We can get the head off. I did check all the valves. All the valves seemed fine as far as the clearances go. They were off a little bit, but nothing that would have been a major issue, right? I did put oil in the cylinder. They don't look bad. They don't look like that's all carboned or anything. It looks like it's pretty flippin' clean to me. It looks pretty clean to me, guy. Pretty flippin' clean to me. Looks like a rebuilt motor to me. They don't look carboned up to me, the valves. It wouldn't hurt to do a little wire brush action on there. So I don't think it would hurt. Looks pretty good to me. Maybe it's just the head gasket that's bad. See, it looks a little crusty. It looks a little crusty on the head gasket, maybe. It was just a head gasket. This all looks nice. Looks like brand new to me. Could have been that the head gasket wasn't sitting in there right, you know. A little shit in there or something. Yeah, exhaust does look a little carboned up, but intake looks good. The exhaust a little carboned up. I could spray some carb cleaner in there, maybe. Looks good. Gotta get another head gasket for it and bolt it back up. Top dead center right there. It should have a gap there. See how it's touching? That's one of the rings. That's probably why I got no compression. Well, the compressions, I got the compression on one side to 120 and the other side to 100. I tried changing the head gaskets and cleaning it, and I don't think it was a problem with carbon, but I think that the rings are the wrong ones. The wrong rings, mama. You could see why he put the other pan on there that had the different starter, the B pan. See the starter, where the starter bolts go on the P series, it cracked right there. Anyway, I got another set of rings. I should be able to put them in there and put it back together. The bolt seemed a little loose on the crank also. Typical. Let me get another set of rings. I got another set of rings. I think they're from India. There they are. I got pistons and stuff, and I got a couple of... I don't know if these are the right rings or not. There's a couple of different kind of rings, and I got... the ones I took out of there, they got a dot. I believe the dot goes up. And on these new ones, from India, I don't know if you can see it, but it says top on there. Well, you got two rings that are the same. Well, there's one bigger. Yeah, well, looks like one's bigger than the other. I got a couple of different kind of rings coming, but we have to check this. We'll see if it fits in there. Let's see if that's the right one or not. There's a Leica. There's the top one. Yeah, it fits in there nice. It fits in there nice, that top one. And the second one here fits in there nice too. Alright, so we're gonna put these inside. We're gonna put these inside and see how they look inside the cylinder. See where it says top? No, that goes out. We'll put that in the cylinder. There should be a gap there. Yeah, it's a little tiny gap, not much. I guess there is a gap there. The gap should be to run a hone in there too if I can. I got a hone for it. I'd like to run a hone in there if I can. Get a hone here for this thing too. marked it, so we don't want to go in any more than that. Where it is. Give it a quick little hone job. Probably going to do the other side too. Even though the other side, the rings will probably seem to be fine on the other side. I might just do this one side. I was getting good compression on the other side. There's a leaker. She's a leaker, mama. Quick little home job. Here's a leaker. Alright guys, I got that thing all in there. I used the ring compressor and I staggered the rings, like one ring was here, the other ring was here, and then I staggered the oil rings also. And I just want to show you, this side's not even tight. This is set for 18 pounds. And a lot of these, you know, I got to tighten up that other side. This side I already did at 18 pounds. I'm probably not even going to do that side. That side was still fine. Had good compression. I just want to show you how much these things are off. See? Got a good quarter turn out of that thing. Get this thing up. Look how loose that is. Flipping thing was loose as a goose, mama. That's where it belongs. 18, 18, 20, something like that, according to the specs. You want to kill it because it is aluminum, right? I I did oil this thing all up. Put some oil in here. Get some good lube going on, and should get good compression now. Ain't rocket science. New set of rings in there now. It should be good. Like I said, the other side was fine. Just had to do this one side. We'll get this thing buttoned back up. Put a gasket on there. Torque down the head. And see if we get 120 on both cylinders. Ring compressor. Yo, ring low. So I got this one back in. These pistons are gonna go in a certain way. There's an oiler that's gonna go up on a. I'll show you. And I did put this in with the ring compressor and hit it in with the wooden thing, and I put the caps on and I tightened them up to 18 foot-pounds. And then this other one on this side was loose. That's why a lot of these will blow. Let me show you what the piston looks like. See how this one's got an oiler right there? And see how it's got notches? That goes up. This is the bottom part. Doesn't have that oiler. So that little hole wants to go up. You put this in the wrong way. I had this one, and you could see it. It blew a rod on the other side, and it kind of mucked the pistons up a little bit. But I got a couple other ones here. Now the pistons. If I needed them, this should be good. Get that back together, and I'm gonna do something about a gasket on this thing and be a good motor when I'm all done. Alright, so I got a new gasket on there. Gasket kit. I'm gonna put that base on there. There's the ground. I could have welded that up, I guess, if I wanted to, but we got this pan. We'll just stay with what we got. I got it back together, and I got oil in it. I did reset all the valves, and they all look fine. I don't think that's an issue. We'll see what we got here, and this is the bad side. I got it hooked up with my thing here, and see what we got. About 120. It's good. It's all back together. With the shrouds on it and everything on it. This is ready to go in. New plugs. Everything on it. Should run fine now. Good compression. Put a rebuilt manifold on there, intake manifold. I rebuild them over here. I got what, 4 to rebuild, and take them apart and reseal them. It's a 2-piece unit. A lot of times they'll leak. I like to take them apart and rebuild them. And then when I take, you know, when I'm working on a lawnmower, I'll put a new one on there. There's a new style. There's 2 of them. I got 4 more I gotta rebuild. It's a good carburetor there. I could take apart and rebuild it and clean it out, get it ready to go for the next one.